What are we doing today? What's the lineup?
So today we are going to do a back workout, and I might throw some biceps in just because why not? Even though I did arms yesterday, whatever. I always could use a little bit of a stretch and a pump. Yeah, and then that's. Basically your back, like I said, I like doing that little pull, just so I know that I'm engaged and ready to pop off. And make sure that you're fully extending, like on your way up. Make sure you get like that thrust in, right? Make sure you're doing the weight that you can do for the amount of sets and reps that you're aiming for. Like I said, if it's too heavy, drop away a little bit. Make sure you're hitting your 10 to 12 or your 5x5s or whatever it is, right? I mean, not every day it's going to work out as well as you want to, so every day is different. But yeah, that's, if you can't find a platform, like, those little step-ups that most gyms usually have, you use 45-pound plates and just stack them. That's my improvisation. I said that right? But yeah, that's basically it. Make sure your back's fairly straight, arched. You want to be basically like that. My hand's weird, but yeah, and just make sure your form's good. Always remember breathing technique. Hold the breath on the way up, like before you lift. So before it lifts off the bars here, make sure it's try to put her deep into your gut. To embrace your core and let it out at the top. Pretty much at every lift. Any heavy lift, deadlift, even squats. You probably heard it all before. I mean, there's tons of fitness people on the internet right now, so YouTube's, kind of flooded with this kind of stuff, but I'm just gonna flood it even more.
Safety first, right?
Always safety first. Kind of like this weight, I'm gonna stay right here for now. You always want to find, there's a rule of thumb, that if you can do another couple reps, it's obviously not heavy enough. Then you got to find that sweet spot, because everybody's different, especially when you're training to get bigger and stuff. You literally have to just keep experimenting more or less and keep upping yourself every week or every 2 weeks, depends on what you're training for. But always try to one up your last workout basically as much as you can.
How much rest in between sets? Heavy?
1 to 2 minutes, roughly 60 seconds, 90 seconds maybe. Depends how you feel. You can just jump right back in. Right now I can just jump back in. But if you're breathing really hard and heavy, you gotta wait till your heart rate kind of slows back down a little bit.
More has to do with your CNS, right?
Yeah, everything. Your nervous system. Gotta let that come back down for a second. You could do this. I think it's good to do this. You can do this the opposing hand, where it's this way, supinated. But I did that for a while, and now I have this recurring bicep injury that comes back every now and again.
Oh yeah.
So I stopped doing that. So I did 445 for deadlift max, and then after that, that's when everything went to shit. My bicep was all right, stop doing that one. You're clanging and banging, you ain't making any gains.
Clanging and banging. How many more sets you got left?
Probably just gonna cut it off after this one.
After this one? What's next?
Because usually you should do 5x5. But I'm just gonna do 4 today. After that, after this, we're going to probably go into a lat pull down.
Lat pull down?
Yeah.
Down over there? Okay.
Yeah. Anybody want to train, you come train with me. Just pick a date, we'll figure it out. Or actually just make the plans and we'll figure out the date, more or less. Yeah, shout out to Crunch Fitness, all the boys that work there, all the Wolfpack crew. You guys know who you are. Shout out to Fred Easy. Shout out to Homework Fit, Cass and Jordan. Shout out to Design to Finish Canada. What up?
Shout out to Dave.
And shout out to Dave, especially Dave, since he let us rock the workout. Nobody. Wicked and hard to get. Yeah, so shout out to Core Evolution, shout out to Dave. I'm gonna talk to you soon anyway. See.
What are we doing?
In the pronated wide bar lat pull down machine, or cable, whatever you want to call it. Bring all the way down to your chest. You want to stay, I don't like going too wide because you don't really get enough activation. You want to be like almost pretty much here, I find. You don't want to be too, like you can go wide, like really wide, but I don't know, I just think it doesn't activate as well. It's a little bit closer for me anyway. Everybody's different. Just find what's comfortable for you, where you feel it activated. If you don't feel it activating at all, then don't do it. Find some other angle or some other exercise that's similar to it, like a pull-up, for example. This is basically the alternative when you don't want to do pull-ups, which is me right now. I'm gonna do 4 sets, 12 reps. Always try to pull like behind you, so your elbows are always going backwards.
Did you lose your shirt or something?
I don't know, it fell off somewhere. Bad form is this. That is a freaking no-no. Like you're like so much in front of you and you lean back. You're not working on your back. You gotta remember, whatever you're pulling, behind the back is where your elbow should be. And you always want to pull kind of like a V, right? Think of your elbows and pivot them kind of downwards. Like when you bring it down, don't just like, you know what I mean?
Elbows behind.
Elbows behind, bar to your chest. Have your chest up a little, like your back a little arched, right? That's basically it. Just don't do some weird shit. Because you can see some people are just, they don't know what they're doing. You see some people like this. They're like so close. They're like, just having a hard time. And it's like,
Yeah, you can see the elbows in front of you.
yeah. Biggest thing that I've emphasized already and talked about, just ask for help. Don't be afraid. You're a fool for a minute when you ask for help, not a fool for a lifetime. We're not asking at all.
That was a good quote.
Lao Tzu.
Oh, you could have taken it. You could have said Tyler Wood.
By me. I made it my own actually. It's not, those weren't his words. He used some different term. I made it more modern. Whew. All right, last set. I actually like this one. I think it's actually better than the one I did. The resistance feels a lot better. like that there's a mirror here, I can see my form. Lower the weight, losing form. Start to lose form mid-set, and you can't do the reps that you're needed to, then drop the weight a little and do your numbered, or your set number, or your rep number, sorry. Can't think right now. Make sure you get your reps in. Like if you shit the bed when you're trying to get 12 reps, the weight's too much. You need to be able to finish your entire set with the amount of reps that you're aiming for. So that was my last set. I couldn't even, I got like 6. I think those rack pulls got me. My forearm strength is shit right now. I also think I have carpal tunnel
From
arthritis.
From that auto body work.
Yeah. As like I said, my wrists are not as healthy as they should be for someone that works out as much as I do.
That's why you use wrist wraps?
Yeah. Wrist straps, which I do have. Which I'm probably gonna use for dumbbell rows because I'm not gonna be able to fucking grip it. Dumbbell row.
How do you do it?
The way I do it is a little different. I use like the rack to hold me basically, and I like to keep, because like the new thing is it's easier to actually get a hernia now that I've done some research on it. If you're doing it this way and you got this back here and you're like yanking it, which is fine if you got the bench and everything. But even now they're emphasizing, like scientists and fitness gurus and stuff like that. Like if you have a bench like this, to actually be in the center of it and hold your weight, because the center of gravity is what's going to help you from either shifting or basically getting off balance, because you're like this, right? Most people, right? So it's fine, I guess. Like I don't really have anything against it as long as you're just doing it safely. Sorry, you're safe about it. But to me, I find I just like doing it this way because they do it, like I'll show you, it's a little different in some. So I'm gonna go 8 reps, 4 sets. Always pull to your hip. Make sure your back's straight. Okay, make sure your back's got like that cat-like kind of arc to it, as straight as possible. I mean, if you have to, like when you're going heavy too, sometimes it's best to maybe strap a belt on, just to keep you from getting off balance and stuff, and keep that core engaged.
So form is really important for this one.
Oh yeah, form's key, especially with this one. Like I said, bench or this way. I mean, I find this way I've really upped my teres major since doing this way. Got the lats a little more thicker. And normally you only want 30 seconds between each set.
Normally.
Normally.
I think we're way over though.
We're over that. Remember, you gotta have fun. you gotta enjoy it, or else it just becomes a chore. It's not made for everybody. Going heavy, I suggest wearing a belt so that you're more stationed and your back stays straight. But if you're just keeping it light, don't worry about it. Make sure you're aiming for your hip. Make sure you get a nice pull all the way down. You want to get that length in there, and so that you get that stretch in your lats. So that's, and basically just try to station it so that you're positioned well enough, like your center of gravity is stable, like you are in your center of gravity when you've had your hand in front of you rather than like beside you or using your knee on a bench and stuff like that. Like you're not stable as you could be, right? And it's supposedly less, you're less prone to get injury that way. So I suggest doing it that way. You can use a bench too. For beginners, it's great that way too. That's what most trainers are training people nowadays how to do it. Best. You can do this with a rope, or you can do this with this bar here.
All right, what are we doing here? What's going on?
It's the wide grip. Pull over. I mean, you've seen tons of people do this, but you just get in position. Butt a little bit out because you're going to pull down into your hips.
Yeah.
So, and what you want to emphasize on, because some people pull like straight down, but you really want to, what you should, but you really want to focus actually on pulling with your elbows. So that will activate the lats more rather than just kind of like doing a straight one. Kind of just remember to pull with your elbows. Get them nice lean. I say about a 45-degree lean to her. This actually works the wide part of your upper lats and your teres major, and a little bit of your infraspinatus. More or less lats. Feel that burn right up in there. It's a good finisher. I like to do it, and then I'll sometimes superset. So I'll do like that, and probably even just drop it down. So you don't, in case you got like a really busy gym, right? You're just trying to drop it down and do like a low row, which will get more of your upper back as well. It's just basically destroying your upper back more or less. I try not to do too much lower back exercises. Like I usually just stick with hyperextensions and like rack pulls, deadlifts for that kind of matter. I can't do good mornings. I've just never done them before, like as much, so I just stopped. I never liked them at the beginning, so I know a couple buddies of mine that do it every time they do leg day. And buddy can do quite a bit of weight, but I don't trust my back. So do what is uncomfortable but safe.
How many sets on your rest for this bad boy?
I'd say about, I don't know, it depends. Like usually for a last set, for like volume wise, I'd go like 20 reps. But I kind of got some weight on it right now, so I'm gonna probably do like 12. But like I said, remember, like you gotta be able to hold it for 1 to 2 seconds, right? They don't just. A lot of it's technique in the gym now that I've done more and more research. Because I used to be that guy that just wanted to push the weight. I mean, there's time and place for it. I mean, you just want to, when you're doing like really, really heavy, obviously you want to get the weight up really quick. That's understandable. But technique is where you're gonna get those shredded gains. You're gonna look more defined, more toned, and just kind of, it's more or less like a bulking technique for just kind of pushing the weight more or less, right? You're getting the heavy weight up, you're building muscle like crazy, but you're probably just not as toned as you want to be. That one's a great finisher to really stretch the muscle fibers out after you've just beaten the crap out of them. You put a lot of blood in there, and it really just opens it up, puts new blood in there. Also, just really good stretch. Good thing to stretch. It's always good to find an exercise where you can kind of stretch it out, like stretch out the muscle you've just beaten. So like legs, lunges are great for that, because you're really stretching out the muscle. So basically just worry about your form for back, because you could really, really mess yourself up. Like you don't want to be old and be complaining about back injuries and stuff like that, right? So just be careful with back exercises. Just have good form. If you don't, just ask. I mean, it's not that hard. Just ask a trainer. There's trainers in every gym. Finito. Posted. Alright, I'm gonna catch my breath and then I'm gonna do some biceps. Biceps! I haven't been sipping my EAAs at all.
So you did this with Homework Fit.
Yeah. Mr. Jordan Prado. Cass, which their baby is on the way.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Seen that.
Congrats on that. Yes, I did this with him. What, in February?
Yeah.
February? Yeah. You seem to like it. I don't know if you're still doing it, but yeah, it's a good exercise. I find it just isolates the traps a bit more.
What's it called again?
Just behind the back shrug. Smith machine shrug, sorry.
Some people don't believe though.
No,
They don't believe in the back shrug.
No, not a lot of people don't, but I find that honestly, instead of the front, like, because when you're doing it in front of you, you're putting a lot of delt action into your into the shrug, because you're like closed off too, right? Like the way your back sits, it's behind you. Your back's not in front of you, that's why it's your back. So why not do behind the back barbell shrug? I see a lot of pros doing it now. They just doing the barbell. I just like Smith machine, just so I don't really have to keep it in line. I know where my ass is, so it doesn't come off my ass.
Any tips for this? Because people don't seem to get the good form on this one.
Just keep it behind your back, more or less. Try to keep it in line with your ass too, right? Like, it's gonna go up. If you're gonna go straight, I find leaning forward a bit and giving you that extra kind of pull to activate the traps more. But yeah, I see a lot of people just kind of standing here. Then it rubs off your ass, kind of weird and uncomfortable. So I just find that's probably the best tip, is just to kind of give it a bit of a lean into her, or out of her. Usually about 4 sets. 4 sets are everything. 3 sets just not enough. When you're a beginner, 3 sets is fine. But if you're advanced, you know, I've been doing this for a while, then I'd say 4 to 5 sometimes. I do 5 if I'm feeling good that day. So just, you know, just make sure your ass is, if your ass is in the way, if you've got a big old booty, then I suggest leaning forward and doing that. And using it, like you can use obviously the barbell, but I find I can't. I have to like rub my ass the whole time basically with the bar. So I found the Smith machine works best for that, because you can lean forward and then you're not rubbing your ass with the bar basically. Make sure you hold it at the top for every exercise, like I said, 1 to 2 seconds. Because you're not, unless you're doing a powerlifting kind of shit, then don't worry about what I just said. But yeah, that's basically it for barbell shrugs. And usually, it's a new thing that I already knew, but you should always like be able to hold it for 1 to 2 seconds at the peak of the contraction of whatever you're doing. So like bicep curl, hold, down. And I like, for like negative training, like eccentric training, I like going like 3 seconds down, maybe even 4, depending on the day. You can't keep doing it, but it's good to throw it into a workout every now and again, right? Or even every other workout sort of thing. But the negative is where you're gonna grow the most, because it's stretching the muscle, letting more blood get into it, more fascia is gonna rip. So it has to rebuild, and rebuild you into a monster. Or a weapon, if you're a lady.
What are we doing next?
Gotta remember, I got some female fans. Not very many, but I got 1 or 2. 1 or 2.
More than most.
Or supposed. I guess look at it that way. Alright, so I'm done with that.